Boop.
We are live. We are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this latest edition, this November 4th edition of
Hi.
Happy Half Hour. I am David Shakavage, the president of Carolina Retirement Planners. With me here is Sam Shakavage, my
Hi,
partner in
everybody.
business. And in the background, as always, we have Amy, who is our director of client fund and is the one that kind of makes all
Hey,
this work.
Amy. Hi.
And I thought I'd start out with something just a little different or special today. One of the advantages of having your own business is you can do things that a lot of businesses don't do. And one of the things we do is we say to our employees, if you've got a reasonably well-behaved dog, you can bring it to work, And I want to introduce Kristen, who you've probably seen before, but she has someone to show you here. This is her recent puppy. What's his name?
This is Tiberius.
Tiberius. I
Oh,
love that name.
Tiberius.
And
Look
what
at
is
those
Tiberius?
eyes. Hey, Tiberius. Hi. Hi, handsome. Oh my
Just want to kiss that face.
He's looking at himself. What's his breed?
He is a purebred Australian Shepherd.
And how old is this puppy?
He's about 4 months now.
4 months. Actually, I should have had him on before. He used to be this big, not that long ago, and it's like, yeah.
Oh, look at him. He's bigger
I just
every
wanna kiss him up.
day.
For real. For real.
Tiberius.
I gotta get back to work.
He
Yeah.
will come say hi and show off his new bandana today.
I'll tell you, he is such a good dog. He sits under her desk. You don't even know I don't even know he's here. It just so it's been kind of fun. It's been
So
fun.
handsome.
Say bye, buddy.
Good boy. Bye, Tiberius.
Hi, Tiberius. And as always, if you are joining us, our regular listeners know to say hi in the chat. But if you are here for the first time, a guest, or stumbled upon us, just say hi in the chat. We always like to talk about what we're drinking and things like that. I see that Bill has joined us. Bill is a regular.
Hey, Bill.
Kay is here. Kay, it's good to see you. Diane is here. Kim is here.
Oh, Diane's tuning in all the way from Portland, Oregon today.
Oh, that's right. Wow. So,
And Kim's tuning in all the way from the Triangle.
and Lynn is here, and Jim
Jacqueline.
and Ed. Good to see you here. Yes, it is a nice pup. And our own Brenda is here. Brenda Armstrong says hi to everybody. She's at her house, but what are you drinking today, Sam?
I am not drinking anything too exciting. Just a LaCroix.
Okay, and I'm drinking my normal herbal
water.
tea, but
I think Amy was drinking something interesting today. What are you drinking, Amy?
Okay, I'm drinking a Natty Light. I always try to find something like totally ridiculous in my fridge that I can share when I'm on here. And I'm like, I know that we have something because we had a little Halloween gathering and my daughter brought these. I was like, I know there's one in there. I know there's one in there.
I like
Natty
how it
Light.
has the pink flamingos on it.
How ridiculous is this? But it's actually pretty, I'm not mad at it. It's pretty good. So yeah, we'll see if I can finish it in 30 minutes. We all know it won't happen, but we'll see.
okay.
Challenge accepted.
And today is what, National Candy Day, I believe.
It is. As a follow-up, I believe last week was National Chocolate Day. So on either side of Thanksgiving, we have National Chocolate Day, or on Halloween, National Chocolate Day and National Candy Day.
So if you are you got any Halloween candy left, you should eat it all today, so
Oh my gosh, I would have a bellyache. I mean, not that I have that much left, but no, too much candy.
And Jim is here, and Jacqueline, and let's see, we've got Mary, our own Mary is here, Wanda, Dan and Barb are are here from Sapphire Valley. They're up in the mountains, I think, or are they traveling somewhere? And Wanda is here. Robert is here.
Bob is here, and he was our wine winner, and he is enjoying his wine from Fermental, listening to holiday music on Sirius. And I know that this was a post we had on our Facebook page, a debate as to, when is the appropriate time to start celebrating Christmas?
Right now, today, like, October. I mean, put it up, put your tree up right now.
I was always raised by my parents that Christmas season started when Santa came in at the end of Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. That's when Christmas season starts. But in this day and age, I think that we all need any reason to celebrate. So I've decided I'm not gonna gatekeep Christmas season anymore. And if you want to practice Christmas in July, I am all here for it. So
I'm with you. I mean, that's how I was raised. We had to wait until after St. Nick's Day. St. Nick came to visit. I think it's like December 6th. And then it was time to, put your tree up, and if you're good, you got a little gift. If it was bad, you got some coal. And it's kind of like the parents, you know what I mean? I'm like, no, for real, it really happens. That's like a true story for all you kids listening. Behave, St. Nick. I mean, yeah.
And
my mom will tell
you. See that Miranda has joined us, and Jay and Carter are coming to us all the way from Ogden. Nadine, another great follower, is here. Brent,
all the way
Debbie
from Maine, and Debbie and Jean, and Teresa, top fan Teresa, and Debbie and Jean.
But Sam, what is our topic today?
Well, today we are going to be talking about, the complicated 5-year rules that surround getting your money out of a Roth IRA. We talk a lot about getting your money into a Roth IRA. So we decided that we would, focus a lot more on, how to withdraw your funds.
If you've been a regular listener, one thing we've dwelled on a lot. One thing we like to do is we all like to do is pay as little taxes as possible. And one of the strategies to do that is to put money into a Roth IRA. Now, Sam, let's go over the real quick basics. Why do people want to put money into a Roth or convert, say, an IRA to a Roth now?
Because they want to be, paying taxes at the lowest rate.
We are.
That in doing so, they're paying taxes at the lowest rate.
You always want to, you're better off paying the taxes now if the rate's lower, and so that if taxes go up, your money doesn't shrink. Get it into the tax-free world. As many of you know, Sam and I are members of Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisory Group, and we're sitting there at breakfast one day with him at a conference, and he says, always pay taxes the low. What makes it sense? And putting it into a Roth is a great way. And we've talked a lot about Roth conversions and all that.
Hey, Dad, do you have your phone buzzing?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait, yes, it is. It is buzzing. It's vibrating. Let me get it out of there. It was on the table. You could hear it. I couldn't. So when the money goes into a Roth, it's a little complicated getting it out, or can be, depending on your age and things. And so we're going to kind of simplify that now. And hang on, I gotta go. How did I get?
Oh man, did you go to the end?
I went to the end, but we can fix that. So remember, when you put money into a regular IRA, this first box here is say you're putting money into your regular IRA or your 401k or 403b or whatever. When you put money in, you don't pay any taxes on that money. So some of that money is yours and some of that money belongs to the IRS.
Yep.
And so you're growing money for the IRS as you go along. And one of the problems is if the IRS decides they want more of your money, you'll have less. Now, if you put money into a Roth, well, then if you put money into a Roth, each year you're growing it, but you haven't paid the taxes. So if over the years you put all that money into a Roth, you would have
paid
only
the taxes.
Yeah, you'd only have you paid the taxes already, you'd have only the tax paying problem. And when it comes to understanding Roth, the 5-year rule, it's important to look at the difference between contributions and conversions, because they both have different sets of 5-year rules. So you can contribute money, new money to a Roth if you're working. If you have a W-2, you can put new money into a Roth. You can't put it in there if it's coming from your pension or from your Social Security or anything else. It has to be coming from wages. But a lot of people say, well, I'm not working. What can I do? Well, one of the things you can do is you can take your existing money now and you can convert it over and make it a Roth. So you can convert existing IRA money into a Roth. And that's this column here. This is where we take our IRA, we pay the taxes, we turn it into a Roth. So one set of rules goes for the money you put in. Now, what else is kind of interesting is as you go along, this money will grow. And, oh, come here, be good. Okay, this money will grow. And over time, not only will you have your contributions, but you're going to have growth. Well, there's another set of rules for the growth, and it depends on whether it's a contribution or conversion, and depends on how old you are. So, So we have we could have growth on these two IRAs as well. So we're going to dig into this just a little bit and kind of explain how those rules work.
Yeah, sounds complicated already.
Yeah, we actually, when I'm done, I think you'll see it's simpler than you think. And for most people, if they do a couple things, 2 things actually, all the taxes and penalties and everything goes away. But we'll start with the complicated world. And the complicated world is if you're under or younger than 59 and a half. If you're younger than 59 and a half, there's some rules. And let's start with contributions. If you're working and you're putting money into your Roth IRA, Sam, if I'm under 59 and a half and I've put money into my IRA and
Your Roth IRA.
the Roth IRA rather, and I want to take money out, is there any taxes or penalty on those contributions that I've made?
No, you can always take out what you've contributed.
That's right. If you put new money into a Roth IRA, at any time you can take that money out and use it.
Mm-hmm.
What about the growth on that money?
If you're under 59 and a half, you cannot take out the growth on that money.
Right. If you're under 59 and a half and you take out the growth, you're going to pay both taxes and a 10% penalty.
Correct.
Now, let's say you convert, you're 40 years old and you convert your IRA to a Roth. So now we're over here on the conversions. Let's say you convert your IRA to a Roth, and I have the amount I converted. Can I take that out tax and penalty free?
You may not. You have to wait 5 years.
So
if you're
here,
under 59 and a half.
I've got to wait 5 years, but after 5 years, I can take it out without tax or penalty. The IRS wanted to be sure you didn't take your IRA, which you can't touch, and convert it to a Roth and take the money out right away. So they say you got to wait at least 5 years.
Mhm.
But how about the growth on that money?
The growth, you may not touch until you're at least 59 and a half without a penalty.
Until you're at least 59 and a half. And there's another little rule that says you got to be over 59 and a half, and you must have started a Roth, that could be any Roth, more than 5 years ago. So there's a
Absolutely.
5-year lifetime rule. So it kind of pays if you got someone who's younger to say, go ahead and start a
Put a
Roth
dollar in a
soon.
Roth.
Put
Yeah.
a dollar in a Roth so you get this 5-year clock going.
Mhm.
So that's for under 59 and a half. Now, if you're over 59 and a half, it gets a little more interesting. Can you take, if you're over 59 and a half and you've had a Roth for more than 5 years, can you take contributions out?
Yes.
And how about growth?
Yes.
Now, if you're over 59 and a half and you convert money, can you take the money out?
Yes.
If you've had an IRA for more than 5 years, you can take it out.
If
And
you
how about
had a
the
Roth IRA for over
Roth
5 years.
IRA? I got to keep saying
you-
Roth. You're right.
You preface this whole part by saying that we've had this Roth for over 5 years. So yes.
And as with the growth, you can take it out.
Yes.
So generally speaking, if you've had an IRA for 5.5 years, and
A
you're
Roth
over-
IRA.
Roth IRA for over 5 years and you're over 59 and a half, the life is simple. You can kind of do what you want. There's some exceptions to, even if you're under 59 and a half, there's some exceptions to the rule. Can I spend the growth in my IRA? And rule number one is it has to be in there for 5 years. If it's in there for 5 years and you die, death is one of what's called makes it a qualified distribution. If you're in there for 5 years and you die, your kids can take that money and run. However, if it hasn't been 5 years, they may have to wait 5 years before they can withdraw the money from that Roth IRA. And, I should preface some of this by saying the rules are pretty convoluted even still. And rather than, I want to make sure people know little alarm bells should go off at different times. And they consult with their tax person or their financial advisor. If they're going to do something with a Roth that seems questionable, they should ask people, and just to be sure, because there's a lot of complications. We can't go over all the rules today, and the rules are always changing. Like the tax code is written in pencil, but so dying is one way to get out of it. There's rules that if you're disabled and it's been in there 5 years, you can take it out. If you're unemployed, you can use it for health insurance. If you got big medical expenses greater than 10%, there's a whole set of rules there. You can use it. This is an interesting one. First-time home buyers can take 10%, $10,000 out to use for housing expenses. What's interesting, and most people don't realize, is a first-time home buyer is defined as someone who has not owned a primary residence in 2 years. So if you've been renting for a while, or you sold everything, got on a boat, sailed around the world and came back, you might qualify as a first-time home buyer. And finally, for higher education for you, your kids, your grandkids, the money can come out without penalty as well. But you better check very carefully when you go to some of these exceptions to be sure you got all the I's dotted, T's crossed, timing, and everything else. There's also something called FIFO. What does FIFO stand for?
First in, first out.
And the way this works is if when you put money into a why is that not? Aha, okay, be that way. I see.
It's drawn behind it, huh?
Yeah, it's drawn behind it. Hang on, let me see if I can figure out how to fix this. I usually embed the things in the
All right, well, while you're figuring this out, I do see a few questions in the chat. Lynn wanted to know, do you have to convert the full amount that is in a regular IRA to a Roth IRA? And the answer is typically no. As long as there are, if you have an annuity, if you have an IRA annuity, then maybe you might have to convert that full amount, but typically you don't have to convert the full amount. Typically you can stagger it. And Ed wanted to know, is it best to pay taxes on Roth conversions from after-tax funds? Typically, if you have that money available, that is what we recommend. If you are under 59 and a half and you want to do a Roth conversion, then it is pretty critical that you have after-tax funds to pay that conversion, the taxes on the conversion with, or else you will be penalized. But if you are over 59 and a half, you'd like to do a Roth conversion and you have no after-tax funds available to do, to pay the taxes, we typically don't let that stop us in doing a Roth conversion.
And there's some calculations you can do to see what makes sense, but taxes are probably going up. And we've talked before how if you have a couple and one of you passes away, the other's filing single. For married couples, they're almost certainly going to go up for people. Mm-hmm. I think I got it together now. So when you put money in, some of the money was contributions. That was the money you put into a Roth while you were working. And then you may also have some money that was conversions, where you converted existing IRAs to a Roth, and you may also have some money that was growth on the other two. And what the IRS rules say is automatically when you start taking money out, it's the contributions are used up first, then the conversions, then the growth, and you're actually using the oldest contribution. So it kind of makes it easier to keep track of all these things. But that's just another little piece of the puzzle here. And this is a little piece from Ed Slott, one of his documents, and I thought I'd go with, because it kind of tells the story, summarizes it nicely. Contributions come out first and are always tax and penalty free. So if you contributed money from your W-2, from your paycheck, it's always the first thing to come out, and it's always tax and penalty free. Conversions come out second, and there's no tax or penalty if you've had it for 5 years, if it's been there for 5 years or more, or you're over age 59 and a half. And if you did multiple conversions and you're under 59 and a half, each one has its own time clock. And finally, earnings come out last. There's no tax, no penalty if distributed after you've had something for 5 years and you're over age 59 and a half. And if you would like, you might still be scratching your head because it's complicated. This is a a little document, a one-page document that summarizes it nicely. Ed Slott put it together. We have access to it. If you'd like a copy of this, how can they get a copy, Amy?
They can send us an email to info@carolinarp.com with their address, and we will mail them a copy on really nice paper, like a thicker, I don't want to say cardboard because it's not cardboard, but very nice paper. We will put it in the mail for them. And I put it in the comments of Facebook so they can.
And if you want it on email, you send us an email, we'll email it back. We can email you an electric copy too. So, but sometimes it's nice to have these on paper and not trying to read it on your cell phone. So, okay, well that has been kind of our little piece. I always like to mention each week that if in fact you have other questions you'd like to get answered, clients know they can call us anytime. But if you're here as a visitor, you can go to the website carolina15.com and schedule a 15-minute meeting with us, no cost or obligation, or you can email your question to us. But another way to get in touch with us. So Amy, let's see, I think that's it for this. What are we doing next week? Do we have next week planned?
Sorry, multitasking. Yes, we do. Would you like me to tell you, or would
Go
you
ahead
like
and tell me. Go ahead and tell
All
me.
right, yes, it is, oh, this is a good one. It's don't let your savings get sucker punched. Bum, bum, bum.
Is that next week or is that the weekend after?
Nope, that's I have November 11th. That's next week. Or is that the proposed tax change? Is that next week? No, I think you're right. I'm looking at my notes and I've crossed. Oh yeah, you're right. Look, you were going back and forth. Oh
Yeah,
you got me. You threw me a curveball. You should see my notes.
Congress has proposed a whole bunch of changes to the tax law for next year, and we're going to go over some of those. We probably should have done that for Halloween because it's pretty scary. And hey, don't we have our $15 billion man coming up in about 3 or 4 weeks?
We actually have all the topics through December 2nd. I was just looking through my notes of like
one to watch out for. It's going to be really good. We have a guest. His name is Fawn, and until recently, he literally managed a $15 billion portfolio for a major insurance company. He went off and started his own company managing funds. And so he's gonna talk us about how do you manage, if you got 15 billion, how do you manage it? And so there'll be some great lessons there, and sort of an insight people seldom get to see, behind the curtain on how these companies hedge and do all the things they do to protect their money. So I'm looking forward to that. But now it is time for, and while you're doing that, I can see Debbie joined us, Barbara, Rick and Marcy must be here. And okay, I don't have time for everybody today, but anyway, go ahead.
All right. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you were ready for it.
That's okay.
All right. So now is the time for my personal favorite part of our happy half hour, which is our wine drawing. So to get your name in my jar here, all you have to do is respond to any of our emails that we send throughout the week to let you know what our topic is, or say that that you are going to the Facebook event as it comes out that you are going. You can also share the Facebook event with a friend and get an extra entry, or share the email with a friend and get extra entries. And if you do that, if you share it with a friend through email, you've just got to let us know. So the winner of 2 bottles of wine delivered directly to your door from Fermental Bottle Shop this week is Alexandra K. So congratulations, Alexandra.
Congratulations.
Are our wine winner
Congratulations.
this week.
Nice.
So, and for everybody who did not win, please keep entering. I love putting all of your names in my jar each week. It brings me a lot of joy. So,
Yeah.
Well, everyone, you have a great week. We'll see you back here next week for the shenanigans that the Congress and such have planned for us next year, tax wise. I hope this was
And again.
about as educational and enlightening as 5-year rules on Roth IRAs can be. But
It was a lot.
so with that, everybody, cheers.
I didn't finish
See you
it.
next
Not
week.
to hear. Cheers. I
Bye-bye.
try. I really do. Bye.